Well, thank you for joining us, and this is Keesha Black, and I'm Lana, and we're going to read her cards today, and this is what happens when you get an appointment with me. So, Keesha, what's your first name?
Keesha.
Your middle name, and your maiden name, and your birthday, and I have your email address. So we are going to do, I'll send you a numerology chart tonight sometime. And I'm going to do your little numbers right now. It helps me cheat and know what's going on. Okay? 17, 18, 19, 20, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. Hey, me, I can add.
7.
Yeah, you're a 7. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And you are an 8 year. So this number never changes. It's called a life path number. And what that means is you're a 7. So 7s are our spiritual numbers. They're the ones that think about right and wrong. They have a conscience. I mean, we all have conscience, but you try really hard to do good. And you think long and hard before you make decisions, because you want to make sure that when you make a decision, it's good for you, it's good for, the neighbors, it's good for society. Because you have,
It's good for everybody around me.
Yeah, everyone around you. Now, this year, in 2024, you're in an 8 year. And in our 8 years are our years of money. So you're probably thinking more about money. You're thinking about how we get it, what am I going to do with it, how I can get more. We just constantly, in our 8 years, is very consumed with money. Now, our other years, not so much. Our 8 years are just intensified, right?
Okay.
And so this year it's intensified. And so, let's see, shuffle.
Shuffle how, like you were doing, like this?
Any way you want.
Okay, because this is how you're doing, so I assume like this.
That's good. That's good. We're going to see what's coming up. Now, I read for you quite often, right?
Yes.
And I talk to your loved ones quite often.
Yes.
And they're nosy.
You
got some nosy people.
I do, and it's really awesome, though. I love it, because that's my chance to talk to them, and they trust me with plenty of feedback.
And I want to tell a cute little story about your mom. So, she came to me when I was in the living room watching TV, minding my own business. And she came to me and she's like, go call Keesha. And I'm like, why? And she told me to call her. And I think I called you. And she told me you were at the casino. But you were laying in the bed. And I was like, no, she's wrong. And we were talking, and you said something about being at the casino, and I'm like, oh my God.
Laying in the bed, probably, and I think it was in the hotel room.
Yeah, he was in the hotel room at the casino. And I'm like, your grandma told me you were there, but I didn't believe her.
That was funny.
And I said, she's telling me you need to meet her at the craps table at 11 p.m. She's ready to win. And you did, right?
I did.
Did you win?
I did.
You did.
I did. I remember it. I remember that day. So I was like, what? No.
Yep. Yeah. I'm telling you, when Spirit says something, you can bet that's
I did.
the truth.
I won that night. I really, yeah. I was like, what?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I was like, really? She crap.
Now, when I got my cards read this weekend in New Orleans, I was like, am I going to win? Is my mother and brother going to help me? They said no. And the medium said no. Don't play. And my cards showed I would lose, and I did. I happily lost my ass, and everyone else has sent me money. Pick 10.
Pick 10 cards?
Mm-hmm.
Six. 7.
And just remember, you picked them.
I picked them.
Now, does this mean when we read cards that it's 100%? No, it does not. It means that if everything keeps going the way it is, this is what's going to happen. However, you have free will, and everyone around you has free will. So it is not 100% ever. So,
That's scary. Like,
I know. I tried to scare you. This says you've been a little lost and confused, and you're a little confused about some things that's going on. And I'm pretty sure that we both know what that is, so we're not going to say anything, but we know. And there's a little confusion and just worry about it. You know, it's like in your head. And this says someone is not telling you the truth. Someone's, it's not that they're lying. They're just not sharing everything, right? So there's a little something being hidden, right? Because the fox is all hiding on it. And so sometimes when this happens, it doesn't mean that we have to get mad. It just means that we have to remember that maybe we don't have all the facts about something, right? Mm-hmm. And so this says it's time to hone in on your skills. Now, Keesha owns her own business, so this would tell me it's time to focus on work, to focus on business. And that's what your grandfather told me last time we chatted with him.
Yeah, I already know, yeah, I agree with that.
And so I think it's time to really kind of get more focused and grounded into work and stuff like that. This says education's needed. So it doesn't mean you have to go back to school or college, but there's something coming where you're going to have to learn something, know something, or need more information about something, right? Okay. And I kind of feel like it's stones, because Keesha said that she had some of my crystals like this, and so I told her she should have told me, because I'll tell you what they're worth and everything about them. But in the type of business you have, you kind of have to always know stuff, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're always looking, studying.
Constantly learning different stuff, yeah.
Yeah. And we all have to, right? Yeah. However, there is some good stuff in here. These are not my cards, because my cards aren't this good. This says it's time to put your priorities straight, to get your life in order, get your business going, get things straight in your life, right? Your priorities. You need to look at your life and see what needs to be in order and get that organization going, right? Mm-hmm. And this says there's new opportunities coming in, and I agree. I've already told you, I think there's some big opportunities coming in for you. And this says the window of opportunity is opening, right? Mm-hmm. And so be ready, because you don't want to be like not prepared when an opportunity comes and you, well, wait a minute, I can hold on. No, you want to be ready to jump on it, right? Mm-hmm. So this does say that love is coming. I do think that there is a love connection. I think it's going on, and I think if not, then there's one around the corner. But I do see a love connection. Sometimes we have to give people that we meet some time to get their end straight. You know, we have to let them have their time to get their stuff together before we can just, let them enter our world. So I do think that there is a love connection coming. The Ace of Cups is, saying that and showing that. And I think that's going to be good for you when that happens, So just be patient. It's better to be patient and have what you want than rush it and then get someone who's not finished with things that should have been done. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So.
I agree.
You agree with me?
I do agree with you.
I like it when
sometimes
I'm right.
Patience is not easy.
No,
I'm going to say that, but it's worth it.
I have no patience.
I mean, I have a lot.
You do, because I ain't got any.
I have a lot.
This says money will be good for your bank account. I know you've been working and you're worried about work, but it's getting better. I think it's going to get better.
Yeah.
You've been you slacked off from it for a little bit because you had other priorities, but now we're getting back focused on work, and money's going to get better.
Yeah, and our slow season this year was longer than typical, so this makes sense. I mean, it just was.
It's getting better now, too.
Oh, yeah.
But economically this year, a lot of things are going bad. A lot of companies are laying off. They're shutting down. Things are happening, and it's astrological. I mean, it really is. And we're in a really hard place, astrologically. So things will happen, but that don't mean it has to happen to us. It means that we have to be aware of what's going on in the world, and then we can shift and change things, right?
Right.
And that's why we get our cards read. So, you know, it is. Because how many times have you called me and said, I have this going on, and then I'm like, well, let's look at the cards. We look at them, and I'm like, well, Keesha, let's try this instead.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
the cards are suggesting that we should go this way instead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we get our cards read. It's not because we think that these cards are really going to tell us how to live our life and be correct. It's because they'll give us advice on what little thing we need to change to move our life in a different direction, right?
Yes, I understand. I agree. I mean, I do.
I know. And this says you're headed to the top.
Yes.
So your business, and I've always thought your business will go good, you know, and I think it still will. I think you need to listen to your grandfather when he comes and has some stuff to tell you.
My papa, he's there.
Yes, he's there, and he was a businessman.
He was.
And this is compromise and cooperation, and I think you're very cooperative, and I think it's just going to take time for things to gel and to come around and things to smooth out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think right now we need to focus on business. We need to focus on advertising, getting things going. Your business is good anyway, but we need to be a little bit more home-based and working, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then love will come around, and when it does, and that opportunity's there, then we can take it, right? We just need to slow down till then.
I agree. Yeah.
And-
Because I know what I have going on, so it makes sense to me. I mean, nobody else is going to understand them, but I
Yeah,
get it.
but you know,
I
and
know.
I know you know, and I know,
Yeah.
and so
It makes sense.
they don't understand, but this is
we
how
understand. It's okay.
this is how I read cards, and this shows you own your own business, and you do, right?
I do.
And as you'll notice, I'm just shuffling. I just open up and take the card. It's not like I'm looking for it, but you do own your own business, and it's getting that moving. Plus, I've told you this already, and I feel it because when I laid it down, I saw it in my mind's eye. I think there's something else coming in too, and we've talked about that as well. So, and I think there's something else coming in.
Well, the plan is for something else to come in, so I mean, it's all in line with what's actually going on in my life.
But this is something I haven't seen with you, and I'm like, It says, a windfall of money will head your way, and it's not money we work for. It's usually money we win, or it's given to us, or it's inheritance, but it's money that just appears. It's not what we work for. So,
Okay.
shit, you might need to go to the casino.
Yes, please.
Well, let's ask them before you go.
Right.
See, I can't figure it out because I go and my people shut up and run off. Keesha goes and her people show up and change the dice.
It's because you don't roll dice. You don't shoot dice.
Yeah, no.
You're
But they
pulling-
could line up
You're hitting
that.
that button.
They could line up the slots. They just
Maybe,
don't.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
just
could.
not nice to me. I'm like, please let me win, please. And you already see me. You don't want to sit next to me at the casino, because I'll tell you a little story. I have a daughter who's not my daughter, but I took care of her. And when her dad died, we left the funeral. I was ready to go because he wasn't my favorite person. And so I went to the casino because I needed to clear my mind from all of his stuff. And I'm sitting there and I'm playing, and I'm like, Patrick, I hope she don't see this. You aren't the nicest person in the world. So show me how bad you are and line it up and let me win big. And I hit the button, and I felt him, and I hit the button, and I won 600. And I'm like, Patrick, that is like shit. Like, you were really way worse than this. I should be winning big, big, big money. And I hit the button and won another 600. I'm
There
like
you go.
rolling my
Better.
eyes, right? There's this little old lady sitting next to me, probably using her Social Security money. And she's like, and she's been listening to me and everything, and she goes rubbing her machine, and she's like, oh, Patrick, baby, I don't know you, but I would have loved you. I would have loved you if I knew you. And she's just talking to Patrick. She pushes that button and won like $1,500. I'm like, No. Do not steal my dead people. I said, lady, you don't take my dead people because you don't even know him, and he was way worse, right? But anyway.
That's funny.
I'm telling you, people, you've got to look for spirit in everything because they're there. They're nosy. You know that? Because I call you all the time. And I know things that, you're at work in Houston and here I am calling you, telling you what happened, right? That's because your in-laws are nosy. Your loved ones over there. Not in-laws, but, your family members.
My people.
Right.
People. Look,
They are nosy.
Family.
And what did you get? You got the Daughter of Cups, which talks about a lovely daughter that they all love and adore. Jesus, that's never my card.
I mean, yeah. Look, they love me. I love them, don't get me wrong, I do, but I was like the first grandkid, I was.
You're the one.
Yeah.
They like you better, trust me.
Well, I love them very
and
much.
this is that you just need a little me time. You need some alone time. You need to go within. You need to look at your world, look at your life. Write down where I've been, what I want, and where I need to go, right? And we've been kind of doing that, and you need to figure out, what steps to take to get there, right? And so you need a little me time. And I think it's all coming together, to be honest with you. This is about
I feel like it is. I feel like it's a timing thing. Just take some time.
I think it's timing right now. I mean, you've done the work, right? So this says that you're intelligent, you're smart, you're wise, you know what to do, and it's all coming together. And I think it is. Do you have any questions?
No, not really. I mean, it all makes sense to me.
You already had your questions answered. Your reading the other day.
Right. I mean, yeah.
This is you're busy, you're running. It's like the hamster on the wheel. And so what I would say is if you feel frustrated, just stop the wheel. Just stop. Just take a break.
I can't stop the wheel. It doesn't work like that in my world. I wish it did.
No, sometimes you just have to stop. You just have to kind of give yourself a moment, walk away, come back in, right?
Yeah.
So, and we read these cards, not to tell us who stole the money, or to tell us things, but it's to give us guidance on where we're at, where we're going, and what we need to do. And so I read cards every day. I read cards all the time. They can get way more in depth, but not where everyone else can see them. And then they can be, they should be in depth, actually. They should get really in depth. And then while I'm reading cards, often their loved ones will come in to just chit-chat and add to and give us advice, right? Because I offer 3 different types of readings. I have mediumship, which is nothing but your loved ones. And I will tell you to say a prayer and tell them to show up before you come see me. And that kind of assures that they'll be there, And then I read cards. This is just a layout. It's just to tell you what's happening and what's going to happen and what's going on. And then I can do a 50-50. It's half cards and your loved ones will show up because I feel them already. I'm just holding them at bay.
They're always here. They're swarming in everywhere all the time.
They really are all the time.
They even come to you in your sleep. That's terrible. I'm so sorry.
And let me add that. So if your loved ones wake me up, I will now call you because I will no longer wait until in the morning. Yeah. They woke me up. I had to call her. It was, 1:30 in the morning?
Yes.
I'm like, Keesha, are you awake? No? Well, get up. But they don't do that unless it's important, right? They won't come to me unless it's something you really need to know, right? And then if you really need to know, and sometimes I have no clue. Like recently, Spirit came to me and told me to go find their nephew. I'm like, well, okay. I knew their family, so I called their family, And it was in the wee hours of the night, and only one person answered. And that one person gave me his number, and he's in the military, he's in the Navy. So I got his number, and I called him, and he was actually, I think he was in Japan. And he was fixing to get on the ship, and it was daytime over there. And I just told him what his uncle had to say. I had no clue what that meant, right? And he said to me, "Thank you, that's the information I was looking for." And he hung up. And I was like, well, I hope that was helpful, right? I'm not sure, but, you know. And it was probably about 4 or 5 days later, he called me when he got back to land and could use the phone. And he told me the whole story. And then I was like, oh my God, that makes such sense. Mm-hmm. But in that moment, it didn't make sense. But it don't need to. It don't need to. I don't need to know everything. It's you, your loved ones in your life. They, you know, you need to know everything, right?
Right.
So, do you have any questions? And what's really in my head is, I know you drive an SUV, because I saw you drive up in it, but are you thinking about getting another car? Well, that's what they're telling me.
Now I'm thinking about it.
You are thinking about it?
Yeah. I just want the same one, just a different one, because mine's got an insane amount of miles. Because my going back from Dallas to Houston, I've got like 130,000 miles on my car, and it's a 2020.
I just read for Keesha
So
like a few weeks ago, and they didn't mention this to me.
No, I need it.
And so now they're telling me that, okay, but let's talk about other cars.
I really love my car.
I know, I like your car, but they're telling me you're going to need something bigger.
Bigger?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen
Yeah,
my...
I saw your car. It's pretty big as it is.
But if I need something bigger, I got 2 box trucks. I mean, I'm just saying.
No.
It's a guys.
No,
I'm just saying.
No, there's actually they're having, I can hear 2 people talking and they're not agreeing. But one's telling me to tell you to get a truck, and the other one's telling me to tell you to get a Toyota something, the biggest Toyota.
Sequoia.
Is that what they're called? Mm-hmm. It's bigger. They're
Mm-hmm.
telling me it's bigger than yours.
Really?
That's what they're saying.
If it is, it's barely bigger, because I drive an Infiniti QX80 right now, and it's the biggest Infiniti they make.
Well, isn't that the biggest Toyota that Toyota makes?
Yes, the Sequoia.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know, I think so, but...
Yeah, but they're telling me you're going to need something bigger, so I'm just letting you know.
I don't want anything big.
I don't
That's big
care.
enough.
I don't care.
I need to haul something.
And your grandfather says if you drive like that again, he's going to swing the wheel. And I'm like, drive like what? So coming here, you must have been really hitting 90, because he's telling me it went over 90.
Yeah, I was at 100 at one point.
That's what he just told me.
Listen, I was trying to get here, okay? I just want to make sure I was here in time.
And he's telling me, tell her not to drive like that again, or he's going to swing the wheel.
I drive like that all the time.
Her grandfather,
Sorry.
he complains all the time, don't he?
They all complain about my driving. They say
Well,
they're scared to ride with me.
They are, and
And
they're
I
dead.
usually,
That's
and
sad.
when I'm when I'm with other people, they're like, "I'll drive." I'm like, "Go right ahead." I don't like to drive. I don't want to drive.
You know what's funny is no one will ride with me either. But I drive really good. It's just low and very precise. And so no one will ride with me because they're like getting honked at and everything.
I drive fast. My phone's blowing up all the time. I got work blowing up. I got phone calls. My text messages are going off, and I'm like, ah. Then I'm trying to get from one place to another. I'm driving down 45 every week. It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't be me.
I need a chauffeur.
Well, I was in Egypt a lot when I was married to my second husband, because we had a house there. And so in Egypt, women, well, back then, I don't know, maybe it's changed, but back then women they didn't drive, and you had a driver. So women always had a man go out with them, right? And I loved it. I was like, oh my God, I need to live in this country because men have to drive. Because I really hate driving.
I don't care what gender they are, just drive me around.
Just drive me around.
Quickly and safely.
Yeah, right. Anyway, that's how readings go. And then your dead people will sometimes chime in and tell you things. So we'll see. Today, I'm not really good with names necessarily, but since I've been to New Orleans this weekend, I don't know. Spirit's like, we're going to fix that. And I'm not kidding, they did. Because today, boy, I was throwing those names out there, and I was right. And I was like, are you sure that's right?
Oh, wow.
And the lady says, aren't you the medium? And I said, yeah, but I really haven't been that good before.
With names, yeah. They don't come to you like...
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't, but I was throwing them out today.
That's good.
I was like, well, thank you, Spirit, right?
Right.
So maybe they cleaned my ears out or something. I can hear them better or something. I don't know. But it was good.
That's funny.
Huh?
I said, that's funny.
It was funny.
Who said they cleaned your ears?
They might have cleaned my ears out because I really just didn't get them all. I think I just didn't trust it. Sometimes we have to trust what we hear. And that is the biggest problem doing this work. You have to be willing to step out. You have to be willing to say, I can be wrong. I misunderstood. And step out anyway. And it was interesting because, I said it 10 times here. I was in New Orleans. I was at a conference, Touch in Eternity, my friend puts on, and our teachers from England came. So we get to watch our teachers work, right? And you think they're perfect, And every once in a while, they wouldn't get a name right, or they didn't get this right, or that. But, then it would later find out they did get it right. The person didn't connect the name, or they didn't connect that. And that's what happens a lot of the times. We just don't trust it ourselves, right? And so we don't either, in my case, I just won't give it because I don't trust it, or, something like that. But a lot of times, you just have to step out and trust it, And so, and we do that. I mean, I do that once I feel comfortable with you. I'm okay if I'm get a no, that's not their name, But, but it's hard, sometimes. So, depends on the people, right?
Yeah.
But there's lots of reading tarot. There's lots of cards. I have hundreds and hundreds. I actually collect decks. I have tarot decks from 1919. I have 1930. And you know what I got the other day? I can't show it on camera. But it says U.S. Special Services. And it's actually, isn't that interesting? It's actually a deck of cards that they passed out to people who was in the military. And the women are naked on the card, right? It's got naked women on it, so I can't show it on camera. But I thought, I want those cards because I want the ones that people's touched. Even if they played poker with it, because I read everyday cards, I can read those too. And so even if they've, just played poker with them, they've put their energy in it. And that's what I want. I want their energy in it, right? And I want the used cards. I mean, I buy a lot of new ones too, don't get me wrong. But I like the used ones and the vintage ones, right? And I like the playing cards as well. And I buy them because they're always interesting and they always have all different kinds of things in them. Huh?
It's interesting. I've never thought about that before.
And like these are this was back in the 70s. I think it was 1970. And they're Zolar. So remember that it was a little machine. It had a little genie-looking man on it with a crystal ball. It cost a quarter. And you put your money in, and then it gave you your fortune or some shit.
Yes.
Anyway, these are the cards for that, right?
Okay.
But they're really in good shape, right? And there's the little book, so you know it's old. It's barely together, right? It tells you what it means and everything. But the cards really look good. Look at that. And so, but if they're like the two, and these actually have the meaning on them. If you read them regular or if you read them upside down, it will have the meaning. And so they're really nice. I love these cards. They're kind of fun. And I like to read these too. You want to read these?
Sure.
Yeah.
For me, I mean.
Well, I haven't. I just got them.
Well,
I got them and went to New
then.
Orleans. But I have
Check 'em
tons
out.
and tons of them. Oh, yeah, and these are fun. I'll tell y'all about these too. These are really fun. And where's that? I got another deck that's really fun too. I'll have to find it. I did take that deck to New Orleans, so. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. These are, okay.
They're kind of sticky.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, they're kind of sticky. Like, sticking together a little bit.
Well, it looks like they're all messed up.
Yeah,
I don't know.
some of them have a different back on
Yeah,
them.
some of them's got different backs on them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I just literally bought these, and so pick 5. We'll just do a quick one. But I love to get different decks, and I'll read different decks sometimes because they'll give you more information. Some of them can go really in depth. Okay. Yeah, they got weird backs on them, don't they?
They're all different, yeah.
They're all different. That's kind of different. But this one, ooh, the Knot of Wands. A fair-haired young man changes a change of position or residence for the better.
A fair-haired young man. I don't know. That ain't me.
Yeah, it's not for a man, it's a woman. But isn't her hair blonde?
It's got blonde highlights.
Yeah, it's blonde, fair. She's got fair hair. And it says it's a change for the good.
We'll see.
We'll see. And this one says disappointment in a love affair, difficulties over finances. Well, we are a little upset about the love thing, but she's coming around. A very dark-haired, dark-eyed young man. This card indicates new responsibilities and should work. So do you have an employee that's dark-haired, dark-eyed that you need to make work?
Not yet, but I'm looking for someone. So
you're looking for someone.
Looking for someone to make them work.
The older card, and this is what's interesting about these kind of cards that have the poker decks on them, is back in the day, they would say stuff like that. You know, this represents a dark-haired man or a light-haired woman, which today they don't so much, right? But these are old, and back in the day they would, and it would be like, you're going to receive a letter with good news. Well, everyone knows we don't receive letters nowadays. We get an email, right?
Right.
So it's kind of funny when you go back and look at them. And
right. And
it says a successful journey, a swift courtship will soon come to marriage. But you have to journey there.
Journey, I'm waiting. I'm ready for the journey. Let's go.
Added revenue from an unexpected source. And didn't I say that on your other ones?
That's been coming up a lot lately.
What? Money coming out of no... Honey, I need 10%. So that's another thing about me most people don't know. Is sometimes when I know, and I know, and Keesha knows this to be true. If I know this is going to happen, and I know, like I just have this unknowing know, I will make you sign something. So like if I know you're going to, not you, but if I know you're going to get pregnant, and you tell me no and roll your eyes, I will say, oh, just in case I'm right, for giggles and kicks, can you sign this? And it just says I can name the baby. And you know what? Those hooches sign it, because they're done. And then guess what? They're pregnant next week. Right? So, in New Orleans, years ago, my good friends, she had had a son that passed, and I'd read for him. And she had a son that was alive. And so we were at her house one night, and I decided to channel her son that passed. And in that channeling session, he informed me that his brother was his brother's girlfriend would soon be pregnant because he was going to reincarnate as his brother's child. And he told me all kinds of stuff. So anyway, when I came out of it, she says, oh no, Lana, that won't happen because he never wants children. I said, okay, let's see. So I called him, and I won't say his name, but I called him, and I said, and he goes, oh, hey. And I said, look, your brother came. He said he's going to come back. He's going to be your child. Your girlfriend's going to get pregnant, and I get to name the baby. And he starts laughing, and he's like, oh, Miss Lana, I love you, but you're so wrong. And he goes, and he named off literally 10 types of birth control. She was on the pill, you know, she had, literally 10 types of birth control. And I said, well, that's good, baby. You just remember and keep using it. But when Spirit says something, they're right. And I said, so if just for giggles and kicks, and I turned it on speaker, I said, your parents are here, my husband's here, and this is a legal verbal agreement. So if for giggles and kicks she gets pregnant in the next 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, because I see a 3, then I get to name that baby, don't I? And he goes, sure, Miss Lana, no problem. And he just laughed. So I left New Orleans, and it was probably about 3 weeks later, I get a call. And I thought, and she kept calling and blowing my phone up. And so when I got a chance, I went outside and called her back, and I'm like, what is wrong, right? And she says, oh my God. She says, Lana, she's pregnant. I said, really? I said, please excuse me. I got to call your son. So I called her son, and I told him, I said, I am so excited because I'm going to name this baby Pluto, homage to the universe. And I had and he just threw up. I could hear him. And I called him every day with crazy names that I was going to name his child. And he was violently ill. And she finally called me and she says, Lana, please quit calling my son. He's lost 20 pounds and he can't handle it.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, they had a beautiful baby. But at the end of it all, I agreed to let him name his own child if he told me what the sex of it was before anyone else knew. Now when she sees this, she'll know that I knew before her. And he goes, oh no, my mother will kill me if you know before her. And I just smiled and said, oh, but there's a price for everything. So he was happy to tell me. And I did know before you. But anyway. And so we have lots of them. Lots of these wonderful cards. These are the ones that says, I'm not going to show them on camera because the women are naked. But it says U.S. Army Special Services. Aren't they cute?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. And these
so it's just playing cards, right?
Yeah, these are just playing cards, but I read them anyway, and they are very, very old. And it's interesting, right? I have boxes of cards down here, and I buy them only if they're vintage, only if they've been used. And I use the Ouija board, and I buy used Ouija boards. So I want them used. And I had a man tell me, but man, this Ouija board is so haunted that the spirit in it will just make it do things. So I'll sell it to you, but I'm not going to let you drive with it because I'm afraid she'd make you wreck. So you can tell me your address and I'll mail it to you. I was like, okay, whatever. So I gave him his Venmo and I gave him my address. And I got the Ouija board a few days later. I have played that thing. Nothing bad has ever happened, and no one has had a wreck yet. And I love that Ouija board. It's really good. So, but these cards are great. So ask me a question that would be answered in yes or no.
Oh, jeez. You gotta put me on the spot like that.
Because it's fun.
Okay. Yes.
Okay, I'll ask. Does Keesha really need to get a Toyota?
There you go.
Could just be his
I'm not good at
preference.
thinking of questions on the spot like that.
Oh, I am. Okay. Thumbs up.
I need a
That would
Toyota.
be my yes. Okay, let's look at color. Should she get a black one? Yeah, I wouldn't either. Don't see it.
No.
Aren't these cute? It's 50 ways of saying yes and no. I love these cards, right? Unless it says what I don't want it to, and then I get mad. Okay. Will my daughter go into labor tonight? Nope.
That's like that's a thick note. That's bold.
But there's lots of cards like this, and I got these on Amazon. And I got some the other day that had little glass crystal balls on them, and it's kind of like this, but they say the F word, and every word's the F word on there. And they answer, and they're really fun and cute. So there's tons of cards, and if you're desperate and you need to know the answer to something, then take a piece of paper, rip it down the middle, write yes, write no, fold it up really small, put it in a bowl, and then sit there, pray and meditate, and say, Spirit, please give me the answer in which I seek. I need guidance. Because that's what our loved ones are there for, is to give us guidance. And reach in and get it, and then trust it. That's the key. We trust what we get, right? And that's the biggest problem with people, is learning to trust things, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we have to do. And it works. This stuff really works. So we talk to our loved ones because they walk the planet. They know things. They know things more than us. And they're in a better place, and they can see things that we can't see. They see the bigger picture, and we get a little bit of it, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to have the totality of it all, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to use my people. Now, they're not always happy for me to use them, but I use them. And let me tell you, if Spirit don't want you to do something, you are not going to do it. I guarantee you. So back in December, I went to New Orleans to see my teacher. And I took a friend. I won't say her name. She'd kill me. But I took her. Actually, I went and she met me there later. But anyway, so the last day I was riding home with her. And so I had not gambled at all. And I love to gamble a little. And so I said, oh, stop and let me get a lotto ticket, a Powerball ticket. And we stopped. I went in the gas station, and the little girl says, oh, I don't know how to use the machine, and I can't sell these because they won't let me because I don't know how to use the machine. I'm like, and you work here? Okay. So I go to the next gas station. We go on down the road a little. I go to the next gas station. I go in, and the guy goes, oh, our machine's broken. Oh, I'm like, really? And so my friend's looking at me. So anyway, I get in the car, we go on down the road to another gas station. And I go in. And they said to me, well, of course we can do this. Yes, I know how. So they put my little ticket in the machine, and then they pull it out. And the paper was split, half down the middle. So half the numbers came out, and the other half of the paper was still stuck in the machine. So I'm like, I ain't buying
You were not supposed to have those lottery tickets.
So we get in the car and we go on down the road.
She's still trying.
I'm still trying because I need that Powerball number. And we go on down the road. And it's Quick Trip. Quick Trip stays up and stays open late, right? It is like, I don't even know what time it is, but it ain't that late. It's not even 9 yet. So we get out, she goes to get gas because we need it by now, and I run in, and I'm running, and she's watching me, right? Mm. And I'm running, and I put my hand on the door, and all the lights went off and the door locked, and they were closed.
What?
And my friend, just dies laughing. Like she just fell over laughing, and she's laughing so hard she fell and wouldn't even get up. She just sat on the ground and laughed. And so I'm like, oh my God, what have I done, right? So anyway, she says, don't worry, Lena. She says, we'll stop in Shreveport and you can gamble because you have to go through Shreveport if you're going from New Orleans to Texas. You have to go through Shreveport, right? I mean, there's probably another way around, but in our thing, we were going through Shreveport. Yeah. We had it booked and ready. So anyway, we're in the car and we're chatting, and I know y'all can't tell, but I do talk a lot. And we're chatty in the car. And all of a sudden, she looks at me and she's like, Lana, look. And I look up and it says, welcome to Texas. And I'm like, wait, did we miss Shreveport? No one saw you cannot miss the casino when you go through Shreveport. They're everywhere and they're big.
On both sides of the road.
We never saw the casinos. Never. We went right through Shreveport. We even looked at our map to make. It was like Spirit covered them. We never saw them, and we were already in Texas, and so I didn't get a ticket that night, and I didn't get to play. So anyway,
there's a reason.
Don't laugh at me. If Spirit does not want you to do something, there's a reason for that, and you're not going to do it. And I have lots of stories about that, but we won't get into them. But anyway, So if you'd like to come see me and have your cards read, you can go on my website. It is lanathemedium.com and schedule Lana, the T-H-E, medium.com, and you can schedule online. I do Zoom, and if you're in Grand Saline, you're welcome to come to my house, because I have a little house outside that I read in, and you're welcome to come here. Anybody's welcome. And I read cards, and I talk to the dead, and we do all kinds of fun things. And if you're nice, I might even feed you. If you're daring enough to eat my food. Anyway, thank you for joining us tonight.